CIF State Championship Saturday continues on Spectrum Community with the Division III title match featuring the Northern California Regional Champions from Acalanes High School and the Southern Cal Champions from Crossroads. Welcome into Santiago Canyon College with Megan Riza. I'm Dustin Avall, and Acalanes and their first-year head coach has a chance to hang a state championship banner, which would be the first for their school in any sport, and the accolades that come along with it. For Crossroads, they're the number 11 seed just in their region. That meant they had to travel on the road to every step along the way, where they swept their hosts. So playing as an underdog, Megan, nothing new to them.
Well, Coach said that he wants to look to the Big Four, as he calls them, his Big Four seniors, to really set the tone and calm the nerves for the rest of this team. Coach really wants them to just appreciate this moment, this incredible opportunity that they have. But on the other side, like you mentioned, Acalanes is looking for that first state championship. They had a tough 5-set match to get into this thing, which really proved a lot of the character and adversity this team can handle. They'll be looking to distribute the ball evenly and get their middles involved early and often.
Not just the middles, they have a strength at the pin.
It's going to be Parker Jones, their opposite. Coach said she's like a third assistant coach out on the floor. Has really made this transition so easy for them. She's off to Penn State next season. She'll be a player that the Dons look to for those big kills and big blocks. Just a tremendous talent who embraces her leadership role.
And oftentimes, great things come in smaller packages like Grace Rose.
Grace Rose, it's going to be her job tonight to get her big pins involved, especially Olympia with her physicality. She's going to be needing to do a good job at adjusting and reading defenses, working around that tough block to emphasize their balance. Coach called her the key to their season. She's been starting since her freshman year and has really had the keys to this thing all season long.
When we come back to Santiago Canyon College and Spectrum Community, we're going to have the first serve for the Division III state match. Someone's going to win their first state title in girls volleyball when we return. Back inside Santiago Canyon College as we prepare for the first serve of the Division III state championship between Acalanes and Crossroads. Acalanes located up in the Bay Area, and they got here in a semifinal match, which was their regional championship, and it was a doozy. A 5-gamer, 15-13 in the fifth that left Acalanes facing match point. They were down match point in the fourth game, and they came back to win it. Crossroads only losing that one set to Alemany, even as the 11 seed. Acalanes making the trip down from Lafayette, California. First-year head coach Ernie Rodriguez and squad. Not only is Parker Jones heading to Penn State, as we highlighted in the open, but having Alex Matson on that team is like having a coach on the floor for Coach Ernie. Something that makes it a lot easier. He'll run a gold medal square offensive system made popular by Marv Dunphy, among others, at the collegiate level. Crossroads from Santa Monica, California, small school. Aaron Wexler still does a lot of playing on the beach. To UCLA, was a part of the coaching staff there for a little while as well. Grace Rose, Harper Graves, as well as Kate Whitney Shub and Olympia Nagel-Callan make up what he calls the Big Four, the core. Some of those players being on varsity for 4 seasons, hoping to win their first state championship for the Crossroads Roadrunners. Dustin Avall and Megan Riza here, ready to get underway on Spectrum Community. Megan, we'll see if those early nerves show up like we've seen so often at the state championship level.
We've seen it so far in every single match. You're not surprised when you see it. This is a state championship match, and everybody's so excited. There's a lot of energy up in this gym right now. You see Aaron Wexler trying to get his crowd going. Just a lot of fun, and this is a big moment for both of these two teams.
Grace Rose, the senior captain, 4-year starter, played every match in her collegiate career. Starts off from the service line. Acalanes with the swing. Crossroads just keeping it in play. Jones on the right. Good turn down the line. That's going to land out of bounds. Kill for the senior.
Who other than Parker Jones, you know, you really expected to go to in that first set. She's been the person that set the tone for the team, and if she gets going, the rest of this team will follow suit quick.
She goes back to serve up 1-0. Flip set out to Olympia. She just keeps it in. Good job, Crossroads, just to keep the play alive, and with the dig, they get another shot. A little roll shot there by Harper Graves. It's dug up. Good rally already in this early matchup for the state title. No wonder both these teams have gotten this far. And put away from the back row. That's her second kill. Parker Jones, 2 for 2.
Second kill, second point of the match. It's fun to see Acalanes go back to her, especially when she's in the back row. You don't see a lot of right side opposites playing in that middle back position.
Acalanes in the white jerseys with the blue piping down the sides, and Crossroads in all black. A little miscommunication and mistake for Crossroads. They don't quite get it over the net. And it's 3-0 Acalanes.
She's just a sophomore. This is, I'm sure, a lot of nerves running through her right now. She's kind of losing sight of where the ball is and trying to get back on track.
There's a good pass. Olympia turns down the line, but it's dug up for Acalanes. Job by Harper Graves to come inside. She's another 4-year starter, and turn that ball back down the right side.
It's tough getting your feet to that ball when it's set inside and still being able to turn the ball outwards toward the line.
Harper smacks the ball ready to serve. Down 1-3. Good float serve. So back to Witt. Oh, the put away. Good swing from the right side again. That was Olympia Nagel-Cowan. Another one of those core 4-year starters.
And Coach said this in the most endearing terms, but that she plays like a guy. She just has so much power in her arm swing that she's just so strong.
Connection in the middle, barely thrown over by Melissa Elliott. And then thrown back by Crossroads for the point, and ties it up at 3.
There's some of that power that we were just referring to. She has a cannon of an arm, and I think that she's just getting warmed up.
Harper Graves back to serve, headed to Wesleyan, playing at Division III level. Graves makes the dig there. Back set, Rish is dug up off the block. Free ball coming from Tyler Fields. Put away there, the first one we've seen from Alex Madsen.
A great swing. It was off the net, a little bit out of system, so for her to be able to still get a nice swing on the ball, aggressive swing, that's tough for a defense to have to work around, especially when their big block is up and kind of impeding your vision.
Tight pass, just thrown down easily by Madsen. Point to Acalanes, 2-point lead for the Dons.
I love the big smiles and energy Acalanes is showing after each point that they get. It really makes a big difference in getting a team settled and confident and comfortable.
Backside, there's Olympia. Good swing, powerful, as you were mentioning, Megan. And the put away at a 4-5.
That ball's coming so quick off of her hand. It really gives you, you know, that half second, if that, to really respond, react, and get a good hand on that ball.
Lefty comes in, Lena Tatum to serve. Looking for a touch. Acalanes isn't going to get it. It's an error and a point to Crossroads, tied up 5-5. Lena Tatum, one of the younger players on this Crossroads team, a sophomore. Puts that serve into the net for an early error on the part of the Roadrunners. Lane Webster coming in for Acalanes. She's a freshman. She'll serve. Ace for the freshman.
Beautiful serve coming cross court. It's so difficult to pass as a serve receive passer. Coming across your body really good spot painting the line.
Especially as a lefty. I love the little jump floaty from the young lefty, the southpaw. She'll set now. Back, and that's the other substitution. Roxy Cummings came in. She makes her presence known with a kill on her first attempt.
Beautiful swing right down the line. There was a lot of pop in that ball. I'm shocked, not shocked, but just so excited at how much firepower we're seeing from Acalanes.
And an ace, another one for Lane Webster. And Aaron Wexler and the Crossroads staff maybe thinking timeout time or thereabouts now that they're down by 4, 9-5.
Well, Acalanes just plays with so much passion after each point. Everybody's excited and cheering. That's not going to stop. I think that's kind of the identity of this team, even if you take that timeout.
Accent to Olympia. That's where they're going to go if they need a kill. Parker Jones with the dig. Matson, one-on-one against Olympia Eagle Callan. Blocked but covered, and then Parker Jones from way off the net just sort of loops it in, and it drops. Things seem to be going the way of the Dons.
Yeah, she didn't have the best contact on that ball. She really just kind of palmed it, and it luckily went over the net.
Lane Webster still serving. Tight pass. Set outside, dug up by Jones. Matson off the block, but covered well. It's Devin Groback, the libero, with the cover overhand. Olympia from the right, she's blocked. Covered by the Roadrunners. Tight sets. Play at the net somehow. Tyler Fields poked it over and was successful for the kill.
Roxy Cummings just getting a little bit too overzealous. Putting that quick touch on the ball, you have to wait a little bit, let that ball drop so you can put 2 hands on it and make a good defensive play.
From the right side now, Matson looking for the referee's call, and of course it's in. Well in on the shot from the right, 11-6.
Everything is just going the way of the Acalanes Dons right now.
Matson now serves, so that means Parker Jones moves around into the front row, which I'm sure doesn't make Crossroads very excited. This serve by Matson. Roadrunners with the side out. Ivy Bragan coming in. Traded missed serves result in a 12-7 score in set number 1. Dustin Avall and Megan Riza here for the Division III State Volleyball Championship, California, featuring the Northern Cal champs, the Acalanes Dons. Sarah Nelson serving. To the Southern California champs, Crossroads Roadrunners in all black. Good swing from the left. Harper Graves using the block was late to get there.
Set a little tight on the net, and Harper Graves didn't back off of that swing at all. Not afraid to challenge that block, and that's going to be her best bet. Acalanes is a tall blocking team, so when you're faced against Roxy Cummings, that's the way to go.
Okay, Whitney Schubb back in to serve the libero. Roxy Cummings into the block, and they can't come back with it. A couple points in the row after that block by Soa Franklin and Harper Graves.
Back set, nice set, just right into the heart of that block. I don't think she was able to see kind of where she could hit.
9-12, Acalanes out of system. Franklin goes up and blocks Jones. Good job by Acalanes to cover. And on the second attempt, Jones just cuffs it in. It seems like Crossroads is ready for anything off of it. They're caught on their heels.
Well, that's kind of what happens when you have, you know, this big player on the other side and she's out and ripping balls and doing all that. So you're ready, you're dug in to dig one of these hard-fought balls, and she switches it up and goes with that nice little finesse shot and catches him on their heel.
She now roofs the dump on the tight pass at the net after the double substitution brought in the Maddies. Maddie Risch and Maddie Khalil. Khalil serving. 14-9. So outside to Harper Graves. Good turn down the line from the left. Maddie Khalil can't come up with it.
Another great swing from Harper Graves. Love that line shot. That's so difficult to defend against, especially on that, coming from that right side, to have to pull the ball back towards the court.
Sorry, Megan, just out on the serve, but you're right. I love that line shot from the left being across your body. The other thing that it does is, as a blocker, if you're reading those shoulders, they never move if you do it right. So it's a great shot by Harper Graves. That's it off the hands.
Beautiful swing off the very edges of the block.
Timeout taken by Crossroads, so they've waited this long to take a timeout, and oddly, it actually feels like they're a little bit more in the match than maybe they were a few points ago when we thought they might take a timeout.
I agree, and another interesting time to call the timeout, but these coaches know their teams, know what they're capable of doing. Good time to call the timeout, kind of maybe talk to the team about what has been working. Point out to them that, hey, this is what's going on in this rotation. Maybe pointing out something that Acalanes is doing well right now, or something that they scouted out in film to prepare for in this next rotation. A lot of different reasons, but I certainly agree. Crossroads is starting to gain a little bit of momentum, settle into their own. But Acalanes is just too good of a team. They have so many weapons and different points of firepower that they can burn you with.
Yeah, Acalanes lost last year in the semis of the section in Northern California. Made it to the state championship this year, as we mentioned, hoping to hang their first banner in any sport for state champion. Well, a good 31 attempt by Soa Franklin and Grace Rose, but misconnection, maybe a little low. 17-10, the Dons.
And it's hard to run that set, especially when your setter's throwing it to you from the 10-foot line. You really have to open up your shoulders.
And we haven't seen it much yet today, so that was an interesting time. Maybe they talked about it in the timeout to come out and run something because we hadn't seen it, and to put it in transition from off the net. Not the smoothest and easiest time, let's say, to run that play.
But even if coach had called, you know, let's run the 31 right out of this, you have to be smart as a setter, and that comes with developing, you know, your touch for the ball and court sense of, yes, this is what coach said, but this is what's going to be best for the opportunity right now.
Oh, a good dig by Grobek, diving in and stabbing it with the right. So Franklin just barely brushes it. A couple of plays at the net result in a point for Acalanes. Melissa Elliott eventually throwing it down for the Dons.
This is a very physical front row for the Dons. I love Melissa Elliott's heads-up play. If you're not going to go up and get a good swing on it, it's important to swipe that ball, and you usually like to go to that right side to disrupt the setting.
Aaron Wexler making a substitution, putting Shannon Munn in the middle for Soa Franklin. Aaron Wexler has been at Crossroads for 4 years. He came in with these seniors that were freshmen that have been on this team for 4 years. So you mentioned earlier about his knowledge and familiarity. He knows them very well for their entire high school careers. Trying to make a couple of changes to affect some sort of change and turn things around for the Roadrunners as Parker Jones rips off another ace, and the lead for Acalanes is now 11, 21-10. Off the tape. Set over on two. First time we've seen that, and it's unsuccessful. Crossroads just trying to see what can work. Change it up a little bit. There's a good put away. I guess when in doubt, go back to old faithful Olympia.
I think she's going to be the key to this match. She has that strong physicality. She's not afraid to take a swing, and she just threads the needle there with that beautiful set all the way out to the pins.
She'll be playing at Dartmouth next year, the Ivy League. Jones turns that one just out. Wexler coaching the team on as they trail by 9. Good pass by Jones, poked over by Khalil. She stayed on the ground. A little miscommunication, the problem of substituting in a middle blocker. Sometimes the subs and the starters getting a little bit wires crossed with the setter, and it results in eventually a point for Acalanes, 22-12.
Great swing there for Melissa Elliott as she's coming off the court. Quick tempo, one set right in front of the first setter.
Devin Grobeck puts the ball in play. Fields blocked but covered by the libero. I think they're going to call a lift there. Unfortunately, no fault of Kate Whitney Shubb. It just sort of rolled off her arm, and when that happens, it's pretty easy to call a lift. Timeout taken for Crossroads. They're trailing 12-23, Meg.
They've really pulled away, especially after that second timeout. I think they really solidified. It was an interesting time to call that timeout. Crossroads seemed to be kind of starting to build some momentum, but Acalanes is too good of a team. They're serving so tough from the service line, which is taking Crossroads out of their system almost immediately. It makes the defense for Acalanes not have to work so hard. They're able to work around their block, and Crossroads is a little bit has a size mismatch where they need to be creative. Acalanes is a dynamic blocking team that's going to have, you know, a solid sealed block up at the net. They need to recognize that, make those adjustments, and really trust their IQ.
Well, the team's getting emotional, as are the fans. A little bit of a competition between the rooting sections. From Acalanes up in Lafayette, the Bay Area, and Crossroads, Santa Monica. Good cheering sections making the trip out of the timeout. A great kill put away by Tyler Fields. She's an all-league award winner this season. They're going to need more of that out of her if they want to compete.
I was just going to say, where has this been, you know, this whole entire set? They need her to step up. That's a huge addition. If you're able to balance out an offense, it makes this tough blocking team have to hesitate and make decisions.
Lena Tatum comes in, a tough serve. Jones out of the back row. Oh, look at the stab. Great defensive play by Graves. Now from the right, Maddie Risch through the block of Fields and Rosie Hudson, and that's going to make it set point for Acalanes.
She saw a small gap and just went after it, rattled around in the block, luckily.
The Maddies go out, and in comes Lane Webster. We saw Lane go on quite a run earlier, her first time in. See if she can wrap up the set for Acalanes. Olympia from the right. The soft block really slows the shot down and gives the defense a chance to pop it back up. Fields. There's another soft block. Webster in. Olympia. Ball still in play. What a rally on set point number one. Just out, Acalanes. Somehow battles, fights tooth and nail through the best rally of the match so far and takes set number one, 25-13. Coach Ernie Rodriguez going back to the drawing board, trying to figure out how he and his girls can help take home this first state championship for Northern California's Acalanes when we return. Back to Santiago Canyon College and the CIF state championships for girls volleyball in Division III. Not just volleyball championships, but football action continues next week with the SoCal Regional Champions. The best teams in Southern California make their final push towards the State Bowl Championships, which will be in Sacramento. But Friday at 7:30, we'll have the 1AA Championship live on Spectrum Sportsnet LA. And on Saturday, the Division 1A Championship at 7:30. That'll be on Spectrum Sportsnet and streaming live on SpectrumCommunity.com. This is CIF State Championship Saturday. And next week, we'll have some more championships in football. Check your local listings. Coach Ernie Rodriguez, his first year out of Acalanes. They took set number one, 25-13, and they hope to continue that more along the way, Megan Riza.
Well, like we were talking about in the break, Acalanes is such a physical team. They have so much height on their side. And that was one of the things that Ernie Rodriguez pointed out to us, that they have to serve well and block well. And I think that they executed those two things to a T in that first set.
Not to mention the fact that they were pushed so close to ending their season in their regional final, going to 5, that when you get that close to ending your season, you maybe realize how precious it is and come back, play with a little more urgency. 1-0.
You certainly feel like you're playing on borrowed time.
There you go.
I feel like we're seeing so much enthusiasm and passion from these girls. They know that wholeheartedly and don't want to give up this opportunity.
Parker Jones strong in the net, but Crossroads stays alive. Jones digging it overhand. So it goes back to Maddie Risch. That's just fisty out of bounds. I'd really like to see her open the hand, maybe get a little more control on it than use the fist.
You have no control on it when you're not using any of your fingers, your hand, able to direct that ball a little bit.
Double quick with Jones and Elliott. Elliott goes just out of bounds on the front one. Her first error, she had 0 in the first set. Throw back to Jones. Oh, some heat dug easily by Grace Rose. Grace Rose just hanging in there, taking all that Acalanes has to offer. Let's see. This time, Parker Jones, look at her move the ball around. First going hard cross court, and then back down the line seam.
That was for her 4th kill of the game. She had 2 aces in the previous set. Absolutely, hands down, their go-to player. She's lights out in the back row as well.
We'll go outside to Olympia. Good swing by the team leader, Olympia Nagel-Callan, the captain. Something that a lot of the younger players don't realize, and you can see it in Harper Graves, is that every time you go back to serve, you should have the same routine, like a free throw shooter at the line in a basketball game. And you can see when Harper Graves goes back there, she smacks the ball a couple times, every single time. But she does it to get herself into the rhythm, into the feeling, just kind of take a breath and realize where she is, and it results in a better serve. It's a little teaching moment for the fans at home.
Yeah, that's something that you kind of establish, I think, at the end of high school, certainly when you get into college, it's all your routine. When you go back to the service line, you have a routine that you go through, and serving, much like a free throw in basketball, all these players have a specific routine that they like to go through, and it's, you know, almost a good luck thing. You don't want any superstitious mixing anything up when you're back there.
Lena Tatum comes in, the lefty to serve. And the block by Crossroads give them a 2-point lead early in set number 2.
The crowd just erupted after that block. And like they should, that was a beautiful press over the net at that last second.
Well, and as you were saying, they're a little bit oversized competitively in this match. Acalanes definitely with the height advantage. And so when Rosie Hudson in the middle and maybe 5'8" or 5'9" gets a block, it's something to celebrate.
Alex Madsen just ripped that ball, ricocheting out into probably the 3rd or 4th row of the crowd there.
Seems like Acalanes taking out a little bit of aggression on the ball sometimes. Back one, Hudson just does keep it in somehow. She came down with a look of surprise on her face, but head coach Aaron Wexler cheering her up.
I think everybody's had a handful of those in their career where it just dribbles over the net. You don't know how it happened, but you got the point.
Hey, you'll take it. 6-4. Ace serve, Olympia Nagel-Callan. 7-4. Acalanes now behind the 8 ball a little bit in this one. And another ace by Olympia. That one goes straight to the floor. Surprisingly, haven't seen this from Acalanes so far today.
Let's see what type of adjustment they make now back at the service line.
So Libero steps in to take the pass. Swing goes off the block. No, they're going to say it's straight out of bounds by Roxy Cummings. And Megan, let me bring you in a little bit for this discussion. As an attacker, it was always the argument that how does the ball take a complete left turn if it doesn't hit any hands, because you saw that you could see it fly right back towards the camera, and if it doesn't hit anything, how is that physically possible? I think that's kind of what the coaching staff is saying. Maybe in slightly more colorful terms.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's all about the ricochet. I think that's what refs look for. They also listen to hear if they, hear that touch. Whatever they can get, but as an attacker, I don't think it frustrates you more than anything.
Well, back out of it, one of the best rallies of the day so far. Blocked and covered. Tyler Fields again, this one just keeping in, so free ball for Acalanes. Matson from the right. She's dug up. The play continues. The air by Olympia Nagel-Callan. Could just be fatigue on a play like that. 5'9".
Long rallies, it's tough to keep that same fire that you have when the ball went over for the first transition. You have to regroup, take a deep breath, and get back into it.
Matson, the jump float cross court, tough serve. Harper Graves can't handle it. Point, Acalanes.
We're seeing some really tough serves coming from both teams. It's really set the tone for whoever has been going on a long run. Really starts at the service line.
It's really great, the aggressive nature these girls are comfortable with at this point in the season and in a match of this magnitude.
Well, it almost becomes contagious. Just like missed serves almost become contagious on both sides of the net. When a team is wailing serves at you, it almost gets you a little bit more fired up, a little bit frustrated that you can do the same.
And you see some of this rallies, the defense is contagious, because when you see a player next to you diving after a ball, you better dive after the next one in your area. Finally, kill by Acalanes for the point.
And part of it, too, is that this is the state championships. This is the last match, game, whatever you want to call it, of the season. These girls just want to leave it all out on the court.
7 serving 9. For some of these girls, it could be their last match of their career if they don't go on to play in college, and that happens obviously with the majority of them. Ace serve to make it 8-9 for Acalanes.
A long couple string of points for Crossroads beginning of this match, and now Acalanes returning the favor.
Tough pass, and an easy point again for Acalanes. Ties it up at 9. We see it so often, long rallies causing a run, and Acalanes won that very long rally, and then right out of it, go on a run from the service line, does Alex Madsen. Tough serve, and they just brought the libero back in. Kate Whitney shove, can't handle it. Another point for Alex Madsen and Acalanes.
That ball is dropping so fast that 2 serves ago it was deep to Olympia. Now that one drops, just after the 10-foot line.
Great serve. That one handled well by Whitney shove. Thrown over by Hudson, but dug. And a little miscommunication by Acalanes, the libero Grobeck and Madsen.
Usually you want your libero to have that second touch. As a libero, they're usually, your best defender regardless, so they're going to have a good touch on the ball to get a nice set out to the pins.
Libero lets that ball go just long. Close one by Tyler Fields, but nonetheless, counts the same, 11-10. Sarah Nelson comes in to serve. The lefty. Harper Graves flies in from the left, and the dig goes over the net. Might have been out, but it's a close one. You got to play the close ones. And after Tyler Fields runs the first one down, the overpass is crushed by Roxy Cummings.
I think that's the biggest mistake defenders can make, is not following a ball back to the line. It's better for you to just play it, keep it in, and get a good swing off of it rather than, hesitate and make the choice then that ball drops in.
Great read by Parker Jones, blocking the attempted over on 2 by Grace Rose. I guess that's how you defend that play. 13-10. Bump set to the outside. Dug up by Jones. Can she transition? Blocked. Backside. Cummings just throws it down from the right.
Beautiful job. Just seeing what the block gave her, not trying to do too much. Didn't feel totally in sync in that approach and just took the tip for it instead.
Timeout taken by Erin Wexler. This one can be a little more expected, as we were saying before. Crossroads trailing by 4, 10-14, and 1-0 in the match. Dustin Avall alongside Megan Riza. And we've seen Alex Madsen serving. We've seen Parker Jones swinging. Acalanes really been strong all over the court. Olympia Nagel-Calland for Crossroads as well.
I think serving has really just been the telling factor of which team gets hot and how they're able to string together these long runs. Acalanes, just an incredible service run. Get them back into this match and get rolling.
Well, Alex Madsen has the 2 aces, but also just putting the serve-receive team out of system resulted in countless points. 14-10, the lead in set number 2. We say it just about every match that we see, especially in the state championships. When you go up 1-0, to win that second one and put a team down 2-0 is such a huge advantage, rather than going back and evening it up at 1-1. It's even more than the one-game disparity appears, because it's so much momentum. It's the hole that a team has to climb out of. However, Coach Erin Wexler, as he tries to make a sub on his team, has said that the mindset that he tries to place in his players is that they're down 0-2 and they're playing the #1 seed. And that's what he tries to have them address every play, as if, well, Acalanes is the #2 seed in Northern California, so we'll see if they go down 0-2.
The mental mindset game has really come to reality for them, so now they get to test out and see how they respond. Acalanes, like you mentioned, they played every game on the road. So playing in unfamiliar gyms is almost an advantage for them.
Missed serve makes it 15-12. Acalanes with the double sub. Maddie's coming back in. This one's not over yet, though. Crossroads has the chance to even it up at 1 set apiece. So it goes outside to Graves. Dug up by Jones. She does such a good job of getting all the way over to help the block out, help the defense as the off blocker. But that one doesn't come up. Point Crossroads.
She got a touch on it. I'd like to see her communicate with her defense maybe a little bit more. As one of those star players on the team, sometimes you can get caught up doing too much.
Maddie Risch from the left. Dug by Whitney Shuck. Olympia. Good swing, but not down. Second attempt by Risch. Dug again. And the block at the net is Parker Jones.
This is the matchup that Acalanes wants, with Olympia in the front row. She's been wailing some tough swings at that Acalanes defense, so being able to have that physical block in Parker Jones in front of her helps that defense out tremendously.
Into the back row, it's Fields. Dug up by Jones. Now Franklin out of the middle. A net violation on the attempt to just pop the ball up by Maddie Risch. Claims innocence, but nonetheless the point goes to the Crossroads Roadrunners. Good pass. Acalanes in system, goes back to Risch. Dig goes over the net. Crossroads team asking for 4 contacts, and they're called for a net violation. What happened was an overpass that was attempted to be contacted as an attack by the middle blocker, Melissa Elliott. Because it was an attack, the argument is that it's not a block and should be counted as one of the 3 contacts. If it was a block, which I guess is what the officials are interpreting, then you still get 3 contacts to make the play. So that first contact, if they determine that that's a block, then they still get 3 chances to contact the ball over the net. If they say, no, that's an attack, it counts as the first one. Obviously what Crossroads was arguing.
It looked like a block to me. I don't think that she was intentionally going up for a swing at the ball.
Well, I think it was an attack. So there you go. Unfortunately, our opinions don't matter in this case. All the refs are the only ones that do. But Crossroads gets it right back, and as they all too often say, maybe the ball never lasts. 15-17. Set that, and Madsen goes outside the intent. Immediately the line judge calls it out. We got a 1-point ball game, Megan.
State championship, I think that controversial call certainly added a lot more fire in this gym.
Well, you're right. That can cause things to go many directions. The overset on the middle. A weird play. Referees trying to count the touches. Keep the play alive. Finally, the point to Crossroads. They tie it up at 17, and Aaron Wexler and his team are fired up.
That was a huge swing for Rosie Hudson. Nice to see her put some fire on that swing. Like I said, I think both these teams now are locked in, and this is becoming an emotional match quickly.
Well, the fans are involved, the players are involved, the coaching staffs are involved. Cheers, singing along to the music. Acalanes finds himself in a new position today, at least. They've been up all along, and Crossroads trailing so much early. Coach Aaron Wexler, you see him encouraging his players and the rest of the coaching staff.
For Acalanes, it's getting back, getting dug in defense, and trusting in that great offense that they have. I think that they have the offensive power more so than Crossroads in this match, but Crossroads is just hanging around. They're getting some good passes and making plays in the net, really feeding into the momentum that their crowd's kind of instilling here with all the noise and energy. Might be in for a long one today.
Oh, Olympia Nagel-Callan with 5 kills. The leader from an attacking perspective for the Crossroad team in all black. And out of the timeout, a missed serve. You see it all too often at this level, especially in these tight state championship matchups. Megan, what do you think Acalanes has to do to pull back away and win this set? And conversely, what does Crossroads have to do to win it?
Well, they have a great server in Lane Webster coming back to the service line that can string off a couple points for them.
There's one with an ace.
So I think that this is a great rotation for them to kind of get started and make their way onto a nice run. It's got to be about blocking at this moment. Defense, defense, defense.
Hudson dug up by Grobeck. Good dig by the libero. Oh, steps in. Alex Madsen just misses that. And her eyes got so big seeing that set that just popped up perfectly, and she tried to crush it, but it was out, 18-19.
Just needed to come down a little sharper, and that's it.
Oh, 1 inch is enough. An inch the other way, and that ball falls on the side of Acalanes, but they take a 2-point lead, 20-18. Oh, just does roll off the tape. Using the equipment, that's what it's there for. The KG veteran, Roxy Cummings, just a sophomore. Dump, covered by Jones. Then passed out of bounds by Lane Webster. She's just a freshman, remember. A lot of youngsters putting in some good time in the state championship match.
I think one of those freshman moments we just saw right there.
So what does Crossroads have to do to come back and take this set, which would be a huge momentum swing for them?
I think that they just need to stay aggressive. They have Acalanes kind of on their heels at this moment. They're getting some good blocks, and they can't get caught up trying to go height for height with Acalanes. They need to continue to press low, take away court space with their block, which will allow their defense to get some good digs in transition, and they need to make the transition game quick.
Teresa Nevins was Her first kill of the afternoon brings in Zoe McPhail to serve. 21-19. Overpass. Little miscommunication for Acalanes. We would like to see them jump up and attack it. They have to step back and pass. And now Crossroads has an opportunity. They do not convert. Jones tipping. Acalanes off the tape. It doesn't matter. It's a put away for the senior leader, and it's a one-point game once again. Crossroads 20-21.
And that's such a smart place to attack. Sometimes in those gaps where the defenders have to cross with one another, it causes those miscommunications of players to run into one another. So not only is she putting a lot of pop on that ball, she's putting it in good places.
Kate Whitney Shupp, been on varsity for about 3.5 years. She came up about halfway through her freshman season and joined the 3 other girls that are now seniors in the core of this squad. There's one of them, Harper Graves, firing from the left, cleanly to the floor, ties it up at 21.
That was a big swing for her. Love that line shot. Anytime that you can go after it, it's a huge point of momentum, a great swing, a clean kill, something that you don't see too often.
Great set by Grace Rose. 31, first we've seen of that. Elliott's dug up. Chance for Crossroads to have a lead, and they get it. Definitely the latest in these first 2 sets that we've seen Crossroads lead, 22-21. With the missed serve, deuces are wild, 22-22.
Aaron Wexler coming to his team right after that missed serve. Calm down, we're all right, let's get him past. It's a 0-0 game right now.
Basically a game to 3. Must win by 2. We'll go past 25 if we have to. Must win by 2. Each set to 25, unless we need a 5th one. That would be to 15. Madsen out of the back row. Dug up. Graves blocked. Now in the middle, Soa Franklin. She's done. Blocked by Jones. Might have been an overcall, but didn't get made. Here's Jones flying in, shooting 2 short.
She really had to get on her horse to make contact with that ball. As you can see, she's reaching for it, not able to get a solid swing on it, and unfortunately not able to get it over the net. But man, Crossroads, all the momentum, the energy in the world right now.
Their fans traveling down here from Santa Monica, making themselves well heard in those Go Runners t-shirts for the Road Runners from Crossroads. With what we saw in set number 1, Megan, Acalanes won 25-13. Crossroads was barely even in that set, and they've come on strong in the second one. A credit to Coach Aaron Wexler. He said it's been a long couple of years. He took the team to Hawaii to the Ann Kang Invitational, and maybe they didn't have much business being there from a competition level, but they gained valuable experience. He's got some driven, focused, and grateful kids. Just good kids, he says, that he tries to pound home those values and let the results kind of work out however they may.
And that was one of the things when we talked to him that he really wanted to make sure that we emphasized how great people these kids are. And that means a lot, because that's what you want out of your athletes, is being good people first.
Harper Graves with the put away makes it set point for Crossroads, 24 serving 22. Jones on the right, dug up by Acalanes. That was Grace Rose with the dig. Acalanes shoots it just long, but in serve receive, it's going to be an opportunity for another set point for Crossroads, and Aaron Wexler wants to talk about it, maybe even draw up some sort of a play for set point.
This timeout's as much to calm down his team and call a play as it is to kind of ice Acalanes and get them in their head. They're up a set, and we're up at points in this set as well. they're seeing a totally different Crossroads team and are maybe a little off kilter because of that. They need to focus on their side of the net and get back to what worked for them in that first set, being really offensively aggressive, putting up nice blocks and serving tough. But Crossroads has returned the favor in every asset.
Well, let's not get it twisted. Crossroads knows how to win. They are on a 14-match winning streak. They are Division 6 champions in the Southern section. They only lost that one set to Alamany in the regional playoffs. So even though we saw a strong, convincing win in set number 1 from Acalanes, Crossroads knows what it takes.
And there have been 7 ties here just in this set.
Crossroads swing for the set, blocked. They're going to get another chance. Graves off 1 foot from the right. She's done. Olympia. Crowd really involved at this point in the set. Rally continues. Acalanes with a swing for 24. Dug by the libero. Whitney Shove pops it over. Now Parker Jones from the back row, and Grace Rose just touches it. Good swing from the back row. A good attempt by the center, but we're tied up at 24. It's basically deuce.
There was a couple plays there that balls could have been in or out, and girls are just going after it. A lot of hesitation.
And an ace serve. What a time for the ace for Parker Jones. Now in a quick flip, all of a sudden, it's set point for Acalanes. Tough serve. Olympia hits it through the block, tied up at 25 again. We're back to deuce.
And I think this is all that Crossroads could ask for right now, is Olympia back in the front row. This is where their firepower originates from. She's not afraid of those big moments and wants those big kills.
Barbara Graves at the service line, senior leader, co-captain. Set over on 2, but dug up by Mizrahi. We haven't seen her much. And the put away from the right. That's Olympia in transition. Another set point, Crossroads.
Acalanes has to be expecting that the majority of the sets here are going to be going to Olympia. They need to stay pressed and sealed over the net.
Barbara Graves, tough serve. Parker Jones from the back row, off the hands for a point. We're back at deuce, 26-all.
And that's a tough trade-off when you're blocking on those back row attacks that aren't coming at you at 100 miles an hour, because they have that ability to touch points of the block and ricochet in ways that you don't really want them to.
Maddie's come for Acalanes. Olympia tipping, just throwing it, but good dig by the libero. Throwback. Parker Jones roll shot, it drops. Advantage Acalanes.
Here we're seeing just the 2 big guns going at it. Olympia for Crossroads and Parker Jones for Acalanes. She's got 4 aces and 7 kills.
Devin Groback. Oh, the ace trickler off the tape for 28-26. What a heartbreaking set and a way to lose it for Crossroads. They played some great volleyball and ultimately a dirty ace. Just a trickler off the tape by libero Devin Groback results in a 2-set lead in the Division 3 state championship. Acalanes set 1, 25-13, and a battle set 2, 28-26. We'll be back with set 3 when we return. We're back. The Division 3 state championship from Santiago Canyon College on Spectrum Community. Dustin Avall and Megan Riza. Acalanes takes set 2, tightly contested with Crossroads, and this has been a long season, but the football season started with 2-a-days in the summer, and the path for some will lead all the way to Sacramento State. On Spectrum, we'll have 2 championship games on Friday, December 16th, starting at 4 p.m. That's on Spectrum Sports in LA. And be sure to tune in Saturday at noon for 2 more championships on SNLA. The Open Division slated for 8 p.m. live on Sportsnet. Check your local listings and spend the weekend watching the best teams in California battle for supremacy on the gridiron. Well, Megan, what a set we had, 28-26. What do you expect to see from these teams after a battle that's that close? One team obviously falling just a little bit short. How do they come back and compete for this third, which could be the decisive set?
It was, I think you captured it perfectly, a heartbreaking set for Crossroads. I really felt like they were in control for the majority of that match. But on the other hand, you have Acalanes that did take away that first set kind of handedly. But I feel like this is almost similar to their previous match in which it went to 5 sets, and they really learned about the adversity and character that this team could handle, the character that they needed to get through these matches. So they're used to those big game moments where they have to fight back and use kind of that underdog mentality to get out of whatever funk that they were in. And I think that they're capable of doing it here again.
Ultimately, 11 ties and 6 lead changes in that last set, which also saw Acalanes, even though they won the set, they were out-hit percentage-wise. You don't see that all too often, and it was because of the errors that Acalanes had. So from an Acalanes perspective, they definitely want to get a hold of the errors. Parker Jones starts off with a kill cross court to make it 1-1. Crossroads really just needs to keep the pressure on, like you were saying.
That was a great set inside to really beat the block going all the way out to the pins, leaving Parker Jones to have that sharp cross-court shot to herself.
It was a sharp shot.
Say that to
So Franklin just out of bounds. There's an error. Both these teams, if they want to win, really need to rein in the errors. And that's not unique to this match or this level. It's constant throughout volleyball and really most sports. Just minimizing those unforced errors are the way to keep the pressure on the opponent and win matches and win titles. Harper Graves off the tee to the floor, 2-2.
Nice swing off the top of the tee. Didn't help him out last set, but helping him out here.
Set to the back row, Parker Jones, just a roll shot. That's going to be a mishandled ball. Set just rolled back a little bit high on the hands of Grace Rose. Referee is quickly on that, 3-2. Devin Groback, the server, had that brutal ace for the second set win. And another mishandled ball.
This is what Crossroads cannot afford to do here, is to get down on themselves, start making these errors. This game will get out of their reach quickly if they don't start responding and kind of get refocused.
Into the back row, Graves. Franklin with the block of the net. Acalanes covers. Madsen just fists it into the court. Olympia off the hands. Madsen's second attempt. Dug up again. Another one of the great rallies between these two squads. Taken overhand by Jones. Set over the net by Khalil. Ultimately, what ends the rally? An error. Ball passed or set way too far outside the antenna, and Olympia Nagel-Cala tried to keep it in, but just couldn't. Outside the antenna, 5-2, Acalanes. Graves. Acalanes defense staying down on that back row attempt by Graves lets them in that gold medal square philosophy, put 3 across and get some easy digs. If you're Crossroads, you probably would prefer to have some front row attacking power, not just setting in the back row. It's not like when Parker Jones for Acalanes is flying in from the 10-foot line.
I'm not a huge fan. As a middle blocker, it's your job to really command that blockhead and decide whether or not, you know, where you're going to be blocking, how you're going to be blocking. I wasn't a huge fan of throwing up a block against a pin hitter, big attacker, unless it was somebody that was just going to come up and whale that ball as if they were in the front row. It just gives your defense time to see where that ball is going, and we're seeing a beautiful block for Acalanes. You can see how they turn their hands back into the court. When you do that, it allows that ball to ricochet back down on towards the court. If you're just pressed straight or pressed out towards the net, you're kind of floating with that block. That ball's going to ricochet and get tooled every time.
Yeah, especially Teresa Nevins, the middle blocker, dropping that left hand into the angle and getting the roof down. See Coach Ernie Rodriguez giving some instruction to Maddie Risch, the freshman, who's playing a whole lot of time for a freshman. And Parker Jones leading the huddle for Acalanes after barely eking out set number 2. We wondered how these teams would respond, and they've responded differently. 7-2 already for Acalanes. Like you said, Crossroads has to be careful that they don't get just boat raced. And before they look up, it could be over.
5 straight points here for Acalanes.
Grobeck with another tough serve. Swing goes over the block, and a touch is called. That's a substitute. Lillette Brooks in. She's just a sophomore.
And a good job by her for coming off the bench and here in set 3. And you're kind of cold sitting through the first 2 sets, being able to produce and get a kill right away.
Lena Tatum in to serve. Goes after Jones. Risch, after that talking through with the coach, makes it air, but the set was inside, died a little bit. Coach says stick with it, 4-7. Jones with the pass. There's a quick set, but Evans is blocked. To the back row, there's Jones. Brooks again. That one's dug. Tight play at the net. Crossroads wins the joust. That was Rosie Hudson at the net.
Here's some of that momentum starting to build again for Crossroads. Only down by 2 points now. Seeing a different team than what started off this match.
Oh, and an ace. They give back that dirty ace that ended set number 2 right when they needed it. 6-7 after a 5-0 run by Acalanes. Crossroads on a 4-0 run of their own. Good serve by Tatum. Jones out of the back row. She puts it away for 8.
Rosie Hudson's going to be up and blocking against Parker Jones against that pipe. You have to press low. Don't get caught up trying to go high, and you see how straight up her arms were. You become a liability in the front row.
Freshman Lane Webster in to serve. The lefty little jump floaty. Tough serve. Good pass by Lena Tatum. Roll shot over the block. Good dig by Matson. And Jones just out.
Crossroads are just hanging around some of these errors now for Acalanes.
Grobeck steps in to set. No touch called, 4 contacts, another point to Crossroads. They've tied it up, baby.
I love it. That huddle was about to break up, and Parker Jones holding it for another second longer, trying to refocus and regroup her team.
Tough serve down the line, puts Acalanes out of system. Out of the back, Olympia, some heat. Net violation called on Roxy Cummings. It was a good dig by Parker Jones after Olympia Nagel Callan came in on a D. We don't see that often, and Aaron Wexler asking the fans for some help. Get up, get excited. We're up 9-8. Webster out to Cummings. That one goes by the block for a point, 9-9.
I'm not sure what it is about this set, but I feel like we've seen so many balls kind of hitting the top of that tape and taking a funny bounce. I feel like that's already the 3rd or 4th.
Alex Matson back to serve. Dustin Aval and Megan Riza here from Santiago Canyon College on Spectrum Community. This is the CIF State Volleyball Championships. This is Division 3. Acalanes, the Northern California Regional Champions, started off strong in one set, won 25-13, and set 2 was a battle.
What a beautiful swing. This is exactly what you need to do when you're facing taller, more physical block, is go for the tops of those hands. You'll get those types of ricochets where it goes up and away.
We've got another battle in set number 3. 10-9. Hudson, crossbody for the kill. Timeout to Acalanes. They're down 9-11. Much closer in the early goings of this set. The last set, which Acalanes won 28-26, got close near the end. But Crossroads started their push early on in this one after being down 7-2.
For them to be able to come back in this match and just stay consistent, being down 2-0 is a tough mentality to be able to fight back and work your way back into a third set match. But Crossroads is unafraid. They feel like they have, you know, the entire backing of this giant crowd that's here for them today. On the other hand, Acalanes just needs to settle down.
Coach Aaron Wexler talks so much about his team for Crossroads, the depth and the buy-in that they have, the mentality that they're down 0-2 and playing the #1 seed. Harper Graves, a part of that core, the big 4 of Graves, Rose, Whitney Shub, and Nagel Calland, who have been here for 4 years, just as long as their head coach, sticking together and making it to a state championship in this dream season for the Roadrunners. Jones, high off the hands for the kill, 10-11.
What a fearsome front row now as Teresa Nevins goes out, but that's a tall front row for Crossroads to have to work around and work through and be physical against.
Well, with Melissa Elliott coming in, it doesn't get that much smaller. Outside, Graves. Elliott with the block. Tight set. No touches called. More contacts. We're tied at 11.
See, nice press. Right call by the referees there. There was no touch on that ball.
Rachel Go into serve. There's a touch, but covered by Crossroads. Good job staying in to the play and covering by the Crossroads back row. And Parker Jones with the tip, a little off speed, not just dinking, but dinking deep.
I like the quick set out to her as well when there's a scramble play and both sides are trying to run back to their respective positions of throwing one way out to the deep corner while you're still adjusting.
Missed serve by Rachel Go. We're back tied up at 12. A couple of substitutes on both sides.
This is our 6th tie.
Webster sets out to Jones, who just keeps it in. Nagel swinging for the point. Not yet. Lots of it by Soa Franklin. She throws it down.
I feel like her confidence has only grown from the beginning of the match when she was playing timid. I think she really stepped up in that second set, and she's feeling confident. That's a big-time block for her against Parker Jones.
Just a sophomore in the middle, but already on the radar of some universities as an athletic, tall middle blocker. Getting some great experience, and we're tied up at 13.
Another great swing here for Parker Jones. She's really starting to take over in this third set, and that's typically what you see out of your best players, your pin hitters. When matches get tight, third sets, end of matches, anything, you go to the player that you know is going to produce for you.
Crossroads goes to Harper Graves. Their player that they're going to go to in time of need. She puts it away off the block for 14. Grace Rose serving. Tough set to hit. Maddie Risch tried to get under it, couldn't quite do it. And it's an error, 15-13.
Those out-of-system balls where it's coming from the back row is so difficult to time out your approach against.
Set back to Jones on the right. Roll shot is dug up by Acalanes. Robic steps into set Jones, and she just taps it off the inside hands of the block.
That just shows the level of IQ that Parker Jones plays with. Seeing that double block, understanding that where that set was coming from, seeing how the defense developed, and just using that inside hand, noticing that the middle blocker is not pressing over the net.
Like you said, not pressing over, so Jones just going after the weakest part of the block and hoping that something good would happen, and it did. And Elliott on the quick set put away for 15. We're all tied up again.
Said that a few times.
Jones getting the sign from Coach Ernie Rodriguez. Set outside to Acalanes, she's blocked. But Crossroads once again covers. Khalil runs it down, and it's a free ball to the Roadrunners. Back to Graves. Jones comes up with a dig. And on the down ball, unfortunately, Khalil can't come up with it.
That's her just kind of losing sight of where the court was. It's difficult in those scramble plays to have that court awareness.
Robeck, the pass off the net, has to be bump set. Madsen flies in and hits it hard, high off the hands for 16. We're tied again.
That is a Division I pro swing when you're able to contact your set at its peak and go after the top of the block.
Tough serve, puts Crossroads in a little bit of trouble in serve receive. Acalanes takes a good swing, though. And Jones with the dig. Nevins missed contacts. 17-16, Crossroads with a 1-point lead late in set number 3. They trail in the match 2-0. If they don't win this set, Acalanes is state champions. Nevins out of the middle, Doug. Now Nevins steps into set. Ends up being a free ball. It's out of bounds. Good job by the line judge to follow that ball all the way around and see it go outside the antenna. Immediately calling it out.
That was the right call.
Tough serve. Jones passing and swinging from the back row, and she puts it away hard and over the block from the back row.
I wonder if she's had more kills from the back row or from the front row.
They really leverage her a lot. She's coming in out of the back row, and that time she passed and then went to swing. Definitely the strength of this offense.
Well, even at the end of that last really tight set, they were going to her majority of the time in the back row.
17-18, Webster with the serve, results in an overpass. Four hits after Roxy Cummings puts it through the block. So odd, because on those overpasses, so often you see that pass in reverse. It was an overpass to start the play off, and then Cummings puts it through off the head of Hudson and the blockers. Another overpass by Webster off of her serve. Cummings into the block, once again beats it through the block.
Well, for Crossroads, you really have to make it the emphasis to press over the net. When you're not pressed over the net, you're just going up nice and high. Your hands can be pushed back by almost anything.
Webster has been so strong from the service line. The freshman now makes more of, I guess, what could be considered a freshman error into the net, 19 all. Good pass by Grobeck. Set outside, Cummings firing in. There's a great set by Webster and a connection at the pin.
Cummings has just been on a terror these last couple points. Coming into her own, having another big swing in that line seam lane.
20 serving 19. Remember this game to 25. Acalanes leading 2-0 in the match. Tough serve cross court. Puts Crossroads in trouble. They just do get it over the net. What a play to just get it back in play. And then Roxy Cummings throws it through the block once again for a 2-point lead to Acalanes.
She is just finding all the little weaknesses for Crossroads block.
Arden Mizrahi substituting in for Tyler Fields. Madsen at the service line.
That's 9 kills now for Cummings, 4 in this set.
Olympia into the corner. Good swing by the leader for the Crossroads Roadrunners.
Just painting the back line of Acalanes. A good outlet set. Olympia, who other than her do you want taking that swing?
20 serving 21. Cummings again. She's the hot hand. They feed her and she puts it away. 22-20.
She is going through the block every single time. It almost seems like all of her kills, these last 10 points, are coming from challenging the block.
Here comes Samantha Darren in to serve. Tough serve into zone 1. Crossroads just has to put it over at a free ball. The setter Webster takes it. What a good job by Crossroads giving that free ball to the setter, causing a little bit of disarray for Acalanes off of a free ball.
Well, what that does is it takes out the setter from the offense immediately, making that offense out of system right away where they have to use a bump set or a player that's not used to being in that setting position.
Pass by Groback. Quick set in the middle. Elliott is dug up. Set outside. Graves. She's done. Jones for 23. Not yet. Grace Rose, the dump, ties it up at 22 all.
Very similar to our previous set that we had, all knotted up at the end of the match. Let's see if Crossroads can come out on the lucky end of this one this time.
Lane Webster outside to Jones, of course. Good dig by Fields. Graves tipping. Webster can't come up with it. Like to see her go with 2 hands there.
2 hands, 2 hands. I can hear my coach in the back of my mind right now. You have so much more control on the ball when you're going after 2 hands. If it's not a play where you're sprawling out on the floor, you need to be using 2 hands.
3-22, the lead for Crossroads. We have a swing for 24. Olympia Nagel-Callan, she got it. You're going to see a timeout here by Acalanes before the set point serve for Crossroads.
What was interesting in that last set, Parker Jones coming out of the back row and getting some big swings for her team to keep them in it. And now, conversely, here at the end of the match again for Crossroads, and Olympia coming out of the back row to get those big swings for her team.
Remember, Crossroads did have set point in set number 2, but they eventually ended up losing it 26-28. Now they have set point 24-22 against Acalanes in set 3.
And Olympia with 11 kills right now. We'll see kind of these 2 stars go at it. You have Parker Jones, who has 7 kills just in the set, 14 for the entire match. Both of these players wanting to take home these state titles for their respective schools. And what else could you ask for? Set 3, tightly contested, a lot of emotion here.
Zoe McPhail comes in for Acalanes as a passing specialist. Set point for Crossroads. Taken overhand by Jones. She is set. Dug in the back row by Fields.
Big dig for Crossroads.
Huge dig and a put away by Graves. And they celebrate it. They earned it. The Crossroads Roadrunners take set number 3, 25-22, behind the strength of their core 4, including Harper Graves, Grace Rose, Kate Whitney Shub, and Olympia Nagel-Callan. We are going to a 4th set here in the Division III State Championship from Santiago Canyon College. Back at the state championships for CIF girls volleyball. This is Division III. Acalanes, the Northern California champs, started off with a big Game 1 win over Crossroads and then a tightly contested Game 2. Crossroads came out on top in set number 3 and maybe has the momentum going into set 4, Megan. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we will have other divisions. Division 2, Cathedral Catholic from San Diego taking on the Valley Christian team. And in the open division, some of the top competitors in all of the nation in girls volleyball. Santa Margarita taking on Archbishop Mitty. Seems like Mitty is here every single year. This is their 5th straight, I believe. So a couple of dynasties in those matches and a couple of new teams to the state championships here. One of these teams is going to hang their school's first girls volleyball state championship banner. And the competition has gotten close. The first set, very mismatched. Acalanes definitely, with their firepower, just overshadowing the smaller team from Crossroads. But Crossroads is gritty. They battle, they fight. Driven, focused kids. And you have seen it in sets 2 and 3 for Coach Aaron Wexler, who came in as a head coach with Olympia Nagel-Callan and a couple of the other players in their senior season on varsity since their freshman year. Set 4. Here we go. And they serve. That's Maddie Khalil.
Have to follow that ball all the way back to the back line. We've seen so many balls in this entire match that are just inches away from being in or out. You have to keep after it.
Set in the middle. Good job by Soa Franklin getting up early and putting that ball away. 1-1. A little out of system and into the net for Acalanes. Point Crossroads.
Maddie Rich just trying to reach for that ball to get any touch on it. Unfortunately, her feet weren't able to get under it. Not able to get over the net.
A tough serve by Grace Rose and an ace for the senior captain. Three-time All-League in the Gold Coast League is the setter, Grace Rose. Back to Parker Jones, she's blocked. Rish is blocked. In the middle, Soa Franklin dug up. That's Matson out of the back row, and it's out. The biggest lead that Crossroads has had so early in a set, up 4-1. Acalanes not used to playing from behind in this match.
Seeing some uncharacteristic mistakes from them, a little bit of that hesitating.
The tip from Parker Jones, so smart. The leader, senior, headed to Penn State with the kill, 2-4.
I think that Crossroads needs to adjust anytime that set's not going to be there for her, that she's going to go to that tip.
And right back with the ace. Parker Jones, strength from the back line as well as from the outside. 3-4. Dug up by Jones. What a dig. All facets of the game. Tight pass. It's going to be over and either a net violation or a back row attack on Grace Jones. No fault of hers, just trying to save that play, and the dig was a little bit tight to the net.
Just trying to do something with it. getting caught up in the net, coming in a little too hot.
Substitution, Ivy Bragan coming in. Both these teams very liberal with their substitutions. Grace Rose coming right near us to make the play. And then just a little roll shot. Harper Graves puts it down. Tyler Fields back in. Graves familiarly smacking that ball, preparing for her serve.
Making sure that they have rotations correct, scores correct, everybody's on the same page.
It's unusual so early in a set and so late in a match. Nothing really changed, and yet they wanted to make sure they had something right. Groback, perfect pass by the libero, back set. Really caught Maddie Risch by surprise, so she just had to poke it over. Matson through the block, dug up though by Rose. Into the net.
Acalanes finds themselves tied again. Being able to work out of that hole. Let's see if they can string together some serves and pull away.
Rose back to Olympia Nagel-Callan through the block, but dug up by Jones. Tip. Whitney Shub is there. So Franklin really coming on strong in this fourth set, but she's dug. On the back two, a dig now for Acalanes. Set goes just too far outside the antenna, and Crossroads is going to win the long rally. They lead 6-5.
Khalil shooting herself in the foot right now. That set just going a little bit too far out, not even giving her offense an opportunity to get the ball over the net. But both teams are playing such great defense right now. We're not seeing a lot of balls go down for some clean kills. Everything's at least getting a nice touch on it.
Set to the back row, Parker Jones, she's done. Now Graves trading the favor. Inside Matson, high off the hands. What a great swing by the senior outside hitter.
Great swing, and you go high, hard, net hands. You're gonna get kills, especially when you're not afraid to work through blocks and challenge blocks, just catching the tops of those fingers.
Webster's in to serve, good pass by Tatum. Tip by Rosie Hudson, that goes down easily. Crossroad Roadrunners seem to have found their groove after winning that third set, and now they lead 7-6 in the fourth.
It just makes you kind of wonder what was going through these girls' minds in that first set. They were a totally different team, on their heels, not confident, kind of unsure.
Olympia Nagel-Callan with the heat from the back row, resulting in a violation under the net. (8-6). And another point for Crossroads. The frustration starting to mount for Acalanes. They take a quick timeout. Coach Ernie Rodriguez wants to talk it over with his team.
Just, I think, some setting errors going on for Acalanes, not giving their attackers an opportunity to get a nice palm on the ball for a solid contact. Acalanes has so many weapons in the front row, but if they're not getting the sets to the right places, it really limits the offense and makes them very one-dimensional.
Well, it's funny you say that, because Ernie Rodriguez takes his setters and is chatting with them separate from the rest of the team. Some one-on-three coaching. And the Crossroads Roadrunners fans and student body, you heard them, they believe that they will win.
I love it. That's so special, having this type of support from your entire school here in your state championship match.
Yeah, the team feeling the love, definitely.
You definitely want to show up for for your school, for your family, for your friends that are all here for you today. Such a special day. This is this state championship.
Olympian Nagel Callan back to serve. Dustin Avall alongside Megan Riza. We're here for the state championships. This is Division III. A good swing, but it's just out by Rosie Hudson. Coaching staff from Crossroads loved that process. Just maybe the result would be different next. Hudson again in the middle. Crossroads has really gone to their middle attackers in set number 4, and it's led them to a 3-point lead, 10-7.
Well, as a middle blocker, when you're going attack, 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 deep shot, you're able to toss in one of those short tips to the left front.
Jones is blocked by Hudson. A lot of strength in the middle for Crossroads. On the second attempt, Roxy Cummings comes in. She was on fire in set 3, and she starts up again in set 4.
She was a big outlet for Acalanes in that last set. She really got them going back into the match. When she gets hot, man, this team gets right back on track.
Sarah Nelson coming in for the Dons. Tough serve. Good dig by Webster. Free ball to the Roadrunners. From the left, it's Graves. Good, hard, sharp angle.
That was a beautiful angle. That's so difficult to defend against. It's not too often that you're able to get that shot to go down. That is in front of the 10-foot line, coming right at our cameraman there, but just a beautiful, beautiful swing. If she's able to continue and be consistent with that shot, it's really going to disrupt some defense.
Maybe the cameraman should have made the dig there. Step in and get in front of it. That goes back to Cummings. She tips. A Whitney shove. What a pop-up. Jones roll shot. Crossroads with the swing. It's Graves again. Not yet. Graves, second attempt. Turns it down the line. She loves that line shot, but turned it just too much. Out of bounds. 9-11. Acalanes trailing by 2.
Kind of shaking her hands after that. Just shake it off. That's all you can do. Think about the next pointer. Statistician Mark's getting into it too.
Substitution for Acalanes. Coming back in, number 15,
The Maddies come back in for Acalanes. Maddie Khalil and Maddie Risch. As Aaron Wexler on the Crossroads side tells his team just to calm down, take a breath. It's fine, we're right back. So Franklin, there's that 31. We talked about the connection with the middle. We've seen it come on strong.
She's had such a solid contact with that set. Usually with younger middle blockers, when you're still learning how to hit that, you're going to see a lot of flimsy shots where you're not getting a solid palm on the ball. Going to have a replay here as ball rolled onto the court.
Yeah, just a loose ball. No big deal. We're right back. That goes back to Jones. A little mistiming, miscommunication. That's called outside the antenna. I don't know that it was outside the antenna. The coaching staff's having a conversation. Definitely inside the antenna. The down ref calling it good. And we're going to replay. So the referees got together and want to make sure it's the right play, the right call.
If you're not sure, why not replay it? Third time we're going for this point now.
Third time's a charm. Free ball coming to Crossroads. There's that 31 again. Soa Franklin is unstoppable on that 31.
Well, why that 31's so hard to defend against is one, as that right side blocker, you have to dive back in and seal off that gap, but the middle blocker also diving in, so you more times than not have a nice open gap there for you where the ball can rattle around between hands.
The back row, Madsen. Dug up by Fields. Acalanes through the block for the point, 14-9, Crossroads.
Melissa Elliott holding on to the thumb. After that one, I've had many finger jams. When you're trying to press over the net and seal, it can't be straight over. You're going to break some fingers, but you got to press with your palms. Palms first.
14-9, Grace Rose serving. Crossroads with the lead. And now making it 15. Aaron Wexler is fired up.
Parker Jones has to know that you can't attack the angle shot the same way that you do when the ball's all the way out at the pins.
There she attacks and is dug up by Tyler Field. She's been amazing in the back row in this set. Block at the net off Webster. Free ball. Tight pass. And the quick Soa Franklin is there again. Timeout taken for Acalanes. They're on the other side now. After winning big in set one, they're down 9-16. How about the middles?
Soa Franklin on fire here in this set. She's hit a groove, and a good time for Acalanes to call this timeout and refocus and find a way to slow down Soa Franklin.
And Tyler Fields playing defense on the back row, popping those balls up that allows the Crossroads team to run the middle in transition. Before Soa Franklin, it was Rosie Hudson, the athletic junior. Both these middles, not huge. Soa Franklin at 6'1", clearly the taller of the two. But the Acalanes team is the more physical, bigger, more athletic team. And Megan, you saw Melissa Elliott, one of the middle blockers for Acalanes, shaking her thumb a little bit after the block. Now she's getting it wrapped up in the timeout.
Just for a little extra support. If it's bugging you, if it gets a hit again, that's when it really stings, and you don't want, your middle blocker, one of your best blockers, to be up there and hesitating and not pressing all the way.
16 serving 9, set 4. Acalanes trying to come back and win this set. Crossroads trying to force a 5th and decisive game 5, which would be just a 15 if we get there. Webster plays mostly as a setter. When she gets that opportunity, maybe not ready. She's just a freshman, and obviously not a hitter, usually playing in the back row, makes the error. 17-9.
Just got to get the ball over the net. Don't try and do too much with it.
Jones just roll shot. Webster was turned the other way. Acalanes into the block. Finally a point for Acalanes. They stop the run and get to 10.
A nice solid block for Acalanes, recognizing that set was coming inside and moving the block inwards.
Parker Jones, the jump float. Graves with the pass. Quick set to Soa Franklin, and of course she puts it away off the block.
Now that is 7 kills here in game 4 for Soa Franklin.
And fire. 18 serving 10.
She has some friends sitting right behind us.
Set outside. Through the block.
There you see Soa saying, my bad, I wasn't pressed over the net, stealing off that net. The ball will seem to find a way every single time through that gap.
11 serving 18. Good pass by Graves. Back to Olympia. She's blocked. Great hands at the net by Teresa Nevins.
She is fired up after that one, as she should be. That was a beautiful block, straight down onto the floor. She's there on time, pressed. Good job.
12-18. Fields with a tight pass. Nevins aggressively goes over the net this time. So maybe the excitement that got her the last block results in a violation on this play. 19-12, leading to Tatum in to serve. Just long. The sophomore comes in and hits it just out. Makes it 13-19. Here comes Roxy Cummings trying to fire up her team for Acalanes. Down ball. Strobeck takes it with her hands, and everybody on the Crossroads side wanted a violation. It didn't matter, though. Missed swing, and it's a point to Crossroads. Nonetheless, they're the first to 20. 20-13, the Roadrunners with the lead.
I feel like this was the score in the first set for Acalanes.
Alex Madsen now back at the service line, which puts Parker Jones up in the front row.
But this will be interesting. If we happen to go to that game 5, it really kind of wipes clean the slate of what happened in these previous 4 sets. At this point, it's a 2-2 tie and really is anybody's game.
Evans off the block. There's that middle attack by Hudson, but she's dug and pushed through onto the side of Crossroads. There's another substitution for Crossroads. Arden Mizrahi coming in for Tyler Fields. His front row hitters stacked short on the right. We'll see if the serve can disrupt that. Serve down the line to Olympia. Mizrahi with the miss hit. And it looks like it's a point for Crossroads based on the hand signal, but maybe it was just misplayed. Maybe he's saying it was into the antenna.
There it goes. The antenna rattling.
Timeout. The score is 20-15, 20-16 now, getting that call right. So the referee made the right call, just the wrong direction with their hand signal. So it's actually a point to Acalanes, 20-16.
Well, if that ball travels anywhere outside of the pin, it's considered out. And if it makes contact with the pin, it's also out.
That's all the way along the net.
There it is. Just slightly making contact with the pin, but I mean, if it's contact, it's contact.
Well, you saw the down ref point directly at it immediately in that replay. So being so close to it, he made that definitive call. And that's really what you want, I think, as a player and as a coach. You just want the referees to make that call quickly and definitively, and not waffle back and forth. And then you can argue in a certain way, but pretty much going to argue anyway. But as long as they, make the stance and take it.
Go with your first instinct.
There you go. 16 serving 20. Alex Madsen trying to bring back Acalanes. Hudson, that's out. Now it's a 3-point game. Remember, Acalanes is up 2-1. If they were to come back and win this set, that would be it. They would be state champions. Crossroads trying to force a decisive fifth set in this fourth. They can do it with plays like that. Arden Mizrahi has not seen a lot of court time, but you wouldn't know it by that swing.
She's making her opportunity count. You love a player that can come off the bench and be fearless and not be worried about facing a tough, tall block.
Tyler Fields comes in to serve. Back in, I should say. Free ball coming to the Roadrunners. Out to Graves.
Beautiful block.
Jones. That's blocked. No touch. One of those plays where as a smaller blocker, you don't want to get a block. You'll gladly take the no block, and it becomes a 4-contact play. Point, 22-17. Set back to Cummings. That violation called on Cummings. Point to Crossroads. They now lead 23-17.
Acalanes seemed like they found some type of momentum, something to start working for them, but Crossroads is just taking it to them.
Ace serve by Fields makes it 24-17. Set point in game number 4. Crossroads trying to force a game 5.
Have to communicate your seams.
Graves tipping to the floor for the point, and the game to Crossroads, and they are fired up as they take games 3 and 4 and extend this Division III CIF State Volleyball Championship. We're going 5, Megan. Game 5 will be just a 15 when we come back. We're back with what will be the decisive 5th set in the Division III State Championship. Teresa Nevins there leading her team. Acalanes in with an emotional speech between sets. The same for Crossroads, led by their coaching staff. Everybody bought in. Dustin Avall here alongside Megan Riza. Megan, 1 set to 15 for a state title.
1 set to decide them all. This is essentially an entirely brand new game. Like you mentioned, only to 15. Usually in these short sets, you want to be up. It's almost that halfway point. Right when you hit 8, that's usually what teams strive for, is to be, let's be the first to 8, first to 7, so that you're ending off, you know, you're coming to the close of this match with that momentum and in a good position. But Crossroads, you know, down on the first 2 sets, found a way to gain some momentum. Everybody's all smiles on their side, lots of momentum from their crowd. I feel like the start of 5th sets are all about momentum and energy. What happened in that 4th set usually carries over here to the 5th.
Well, Crossroads definitely has the momentum. Acalanes hitting negative in that 4th set. And the first ball out of bounds. Overcome by emotion, all players.
Well, what's interesting for Acalanes, in the first set, they hit for a 278, and then you look what happens in the 4th set, you're hitting for a negative 108.
Back to Graves. Tip by Elliott, that drops 2-0, the early lead for Acalanes. And like you said, Megan, in a set that's just a 15, you're gonna see these timeouts and substitutions and stalling tactics come out pretty early.
You cannot afford to start off games slow. In a short set, you have to come out quick, all cylinders firing for a 15-point set.
Well, everybody a little bit anxious. The referees back talking about the formation and the rotations, and service came in without a whistle to initiate play. Looks like it's going to be out of rotation on Acalanes.
Which is really interesting because it's only the 2nd point of the set.
Going to be the wrong server, I think. So it'll be a point for Crossroads, and Acalanes will be able to reevaluate, repurpose, reposition their players.
Well, for Acalanes, this is interesting. Their last set also going to 5. Coach saying that it was about 3 hours long, the longest game that they've had of the entire year. So, if anything, they've already faced this situation. They've been in this situation just a match ago, maybe a little bit more familiar with it. It might be the advantage, but let's see how they figure this one out, get their rotation set. and ready to go.
Well, I wish I could have been in that conversation between the coach and the down referee to determine what was violated, what went wrong. It's 1-1. That's what I know. Set in the middle, so Franklin picking up where she left off. That ball's down. 2-1 Crossroads. Tough serve taken overhand by Jones. Great pass from the right. She taps it over the block easily for the put away.
That set still floating past the pins, but Parker Jones getting her feet there nice and fast to the set, able to contact it right in time for a sharp cross-court shot.
Just over the block for 2-2. The smaller Acalanes crowd traveling down from Northern California, making themselves heard. 3-2.
Missed serves in short sets come back to haunt you.
In the middle, Elliott throws it down and is called for the throw. A lift.
You have to keep that ball in front of you. If you hold on to it for, a half second, if you take it from usually behind your head, it's going to be called for that throw.
4-2. In the middle, here's Elliott. Swings this time, puts it away, 3-4. This is the 5th and decisive set for the Division III CIF State Volleyball Championship on Spectrum Community from Santiago Canyon College. Dustin Avall and Megan Riza. It's been a battle between Crossroads and Acalanes, and that kill by Rosie Hudson makes it 5-3.
Beautiful swing right through the heart of that block, finding a way to look at the gap and attack it.
The back row, Jones. Tough heat deep. Free ball coming to Acalanes. Pipe again. She puts that one down hard. Good job by Acalanes to set that ball in front of the 10-foot line, and Jones can broad jump into it. Really get some power behind it.
You're able to use that power, a lot of momentum coming with that swing when you're able to jump through the ball and not be inhibited with it, behind your head.
Error by Fields. Just long, and we're tied at 5.
This has been a dogfight, other than the first set.
Well, it's been sort of the story of, it's been like 2 different matches. The first 2 games were one match, and Acalanes swept that one, and then the second 2 games were another match, swept that one. So now it's into the 5th set, a new match, just to 15. The middles really have come up strong for Crossroads in these last couple of games.
Well, when you're able to run your middles like we talk about today, it really opens up the pin attackers and gives them a lot of one-on-one opportunities that are favorable in the sense that you have a lot more pull to attack.
Roxy Cummings, Crossroads saying it never touched the block, but the play continues. And Hudson puts it away, so it doesn't matter. 2-point lead. Crossroads up 7-5.
You see Teresa Nevins straightening out her arms, mimicking what she should have done that last block.
Oh, tough serve at 7-5. Acalanes out of system. Free ball. Set out to the pin. Just a roll shot by Graves.
Great job by Nevins to pick up that ball. If you're not going to block, you have to play defense.
That's a back row violation. Jones just stepped over the 10-foot line, and a timeout taken by Acalanes. 5, looking at 8. Remember this set just to 15. The Crossroads fans fired up at 8-5. They're halfway there for their first state title in volleyball.
Well, you talked about the play of the middle blockers, and if you look at Rosie Hudson of Crossroads. She's had 9 kills so far in this match, but 3 coming in game 5. That's such a testament to the hard work that she's put in the previous 4 matches to allow her setter to trust her in those big game moments and continue to go back to her. Game 5s are so short. You usually see a lot going out to your pins, out to your outside hitter, your go-to hitter. But if you're able to run your middle blockers, it only opens them up that much more.
Out of the timeout, Tyler Fields serving for head coach Aaron Wexler and the Crossroads Roadrunners. Set outside to Cummings. Through the block. Point, Acalanes Dawn.
She is not afraid to go through that block. She has such a physical arm swing that if you're not pressed, that ball is going to find its way back onto your side.
6-8.
And Cummings with 13 kills.
Oh, the miss serve makes it 6-9. You mentioned it earlier, Megan. Those missed serves in short games come back to haunt you.
That's already 2 missed serves for Acalanes. And if you look at the score, you have those 2 missed serves back. It's a 6-7 game.
Webster back to Cummings. Good swing off the hands. Easy, quick call by the referee. Cummings really been leading this offense.
I do want to give credit to this referee staff. They've done such a good job at getting all of these calls correctly today.
Sarah Nelson in to serve for Acalanes.
We're lucky. We got the whole replay system to make our choice. They got to do it in real time.
The roll shot. Oh, bumped over. And back to the side of Acalanes. Tight pass. A little bit of trouble results in a point for Crossroads after the net violation. They're the first to 10. This is the 5th set, so it's just a 15. Coaches making some substitutions to try to extend and save their timeouts for when they need them for the Division III state title.
And from the number of ties that we've had in previous sets, you can see why both coaches want to save them.
Good swing down the line for Roxy Cummings. She's not shy about swinging. She's not shy about accelerating either. Good put away by the sophomore. Here come the Maddies. Oh, the ace serve, Maddie Khalil. 9-10.
Beautiful serve, another tight match. This is a tough time to be back at the service line and putting those tough serves over the net.
That's going to be a mishandled ball, and of course we're tied up at 10. Game just a 15, so it's going to be the first one to 5. Must win by 2. We'll go as high as we need to for the state championship.
And just to kind of wrap your head around that, you have an entire season to come down to 5 points.
Another mishandled ball, this one on the part of the setter, Grace Rose, and quickly Aaron Wexler takes that timeout. Acalanes with their first lead, maybe of the entire set, definitely in a while. 11-10.
And Alex Matson in that timeout as her team's coming to her, pointing and saying, this is our time right now. We have to do this right now. And that's the type of urgency that you need here with only 4 points to go, 4 points away from winning a state championship. Everything has to be all out on the floor. There's no second chances, no more games after this point. For some of these seniors, this is the last time that these guys will ever play together. You have to play with all of your heart, all of your passion.
Acalanes with an opportunity to win their school's first state championship, regardless of sport.
And they've rung off 4 straight points now.
There's the 31 to Soa Franklin, so successful in the last set. Why not bring it back?
You forget that she's just a sophomore, too. Beautiful contact. She's coming down onto that ball, making a nice high swing. utilizing all of that height.
11-11. Back to Jones. High roll shot. 3-ball to Acalanes. Reached just out of bounds. The error makes it 12-11. The lead now to Crossroads. Swapping back to the Roadrunners' advantage. Good touch by Franklin on the net. Set back. A block by Acalanes. We hadn't called the name Olympia Nagel-Callan very often lately. She's a leader, and she got an opportunity to swing from the right, but she's blocked.
Huge block here in game 5 for Acalanes.
12-12. Remember, we just played a 15 in the 5th. Free ball to Acalanes. In the middle, Elliott. Dinking. That's dug up.
See what Acalanes, oh, almost a miscommunication there.
Nagel-Callan puts it over and out. Really a broken play on both sides a couple of times in that rally. And a timeout taken by Crossroads. Not because they need to really stop the momentum, but you can't take the timeouts with you into the offseason. So you might as well use them. And they're trailing 12-13.
Nice touch on that ball. This was a long rally. Olympia in the front row, miscommunication there, just barely getting the ball over. And Olympia trying to put the roll shot over the net. Where all that physicality can come back to hurt you if you're not focused on the technical, mechanical parts of your swing.
Well, you'd like to see her when she has that much time. Maybe take a couple step approach, a step close, and just jump up high like you're going to attack it, and just put it right in the heart of the court. She'll learn that a little bit later as she goes on. She'll play at Dartmouth, and I'm sure will continue to improve. She's been strong, as have all of the players here tonight. But where we are now, 13-12, Acalanes in set number 5 for the Division III state title. An ace serve by the leader for Acalanes, Parker Jones, makes it 14, serving 12.
Just such a tough serve. Look at how fast that dropped. Right in front of Harper Graves.
Set, match, state championship point, Acalanes. Set out to Mizrahi. What a play by Arden Mizrahi. She has not been in much of this match, and she comes in, they go right to her, and she puts it away.
Puts in that nice swing. She is fearless when she's up in that front row. That's what you need. If I'm a teammate, I want somebody to be going all out for me.
Remember, it's still state championship point for Acalanes. Olympia. It's deuce, 14 apiece.
Would you expect it to go any other way?
Of course it's deuce. Got to win by 2. Lena Tatum serving. Madsen. Through the block for 15. 3rd championship point advantage, Acalanes.
At this point, Acalanes not trying to get too emotional. Let's keep focused. Teresa Evans clapping her hands, trying to get her team ready to go.
A substitution, Elsa Clever coming in. This is definitely a blocking substitution, as we haven't seen Clever all afternoon.
We hope that she comes in loose and ready to go.
Acalanes. Jones from the back row, swinging for the championship. Not yet. Acalanes with another chance for the title. She got it!
Instant tears. Tears of joy, tears of relief. 14-16 overtime win here for the state championships. So much emotion. Such a special, special moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you please remain seated.
What a match for the Division III state championship. The Acalanes Dons are going back up north to Lafayette, California with some more hardware, a state title on the back of Parker Jones and that last kill, 16-14 in the fifth. We'll be back with the trophies after this. What a match for the Division III state championship. Acalanes 25-13, 28-26, 22-25, 17-25, and 16-14 in extra time. First-year coach Ernie Rodriguez, the first state title in school history across sports. We saw so much strength for this entire team, Megan.
So much strength, such great blocking, so much passion, I think. What was really stood out to me is how bad these girls wanted this moment. You know, coming off of a tough 5-set match and coming into this one and having to fight their way through another tough 5-set match to get this done. Just such a sweet, special moment.
What a battle by Crossroads, but Acalanes comes out on top from Santiago Canyon College. For the Rush Media team, Mark Heller alongside Megan Riza. This is Dustin Avall saying so long, Acalanes is champions.